We're heading into week 8 of the fantasy football season, and where do the running backs lie in the rankings? I'm here to tell you where they are rest of season right here on RotoWire, and we will start out with our S tier. Bijan Robinson, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, and Jahmyr Gibbs. This is a bigger tier than what we normally have, and we have one surpriser. Bijan Robinson, not a surprise. We all expected him to be here. Jahmyr Gibbs is another one that we all drafted highly. Christian McCaffrey, that was a risk that has been paying off, and one that I wouldn't have taken myself, but all of you out there that did, good for you. I'm happy for you. But Jonathan Taylor, he was the big discount at cost that is paying off and looking like a gold mine. These are guys that you're putting in your lineup, set it and forget it. You don't even really care about the matchup going forward, especially with this Colts offense. They seem to be scoring at will, which is something that I never expected from Daniel Jones, let alone the amount of scoring that they've had. And again, how easy it looks. It's not that it's fluky anymore, especially after week 8. We have to just consider that it's very much the real deal. The next tier, the A tier, is where things get a little bit more interesting, but this is our smallest tier out of this list. Quinshon, Judkins, Josh Jacobs, and Achane. These guys are also set and forget it. Maybe you want to bench them against a tough matchup, but for the most part, you're putting them in your lineup. The only thing that might hold them back is a little bit of that receiving work, like we're seeing like with Quinshon Judkins. He's pretty much going to get 20 carries a game, and you're hoping that he gets in the red zone. If you're in PPR, you're not going to quite have the upside that you would with some of those other guys in the other tier. Achane is the only thing on that Miami offense that seems to be working, and I think it's just because he's the only one that is even somewhat insulated from Tua. So he's another one where even at cost, he's not the big boom that we all expected just because the offense isn't that good, but he is a steady Eddie, and he is due a big play anytime he touches the ball. Josh Jacobs, Packers are doing what they did last season. It's almost like they just ran it back. So whatever he was doing for you last season, he's doing it again, and I'm happy with that. And before we get on to our B tier, if you like content like this, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so me and all your favorite RotoWire analysts can continue to give you that content. And if you want to get nitty-gritty data and all of our fancy tools for betting, start sit analysis that are all behind the paywall, go to rotowire.com. Use the code on the screen, YouTube15 at checkout. That gives you 15% off all of RotoWire's tools and articles, anything that you need to pay for, that'll help you get it. We'll hop into our B tier. This is where stuff gets funky. It feels like no one belongs in this tier. Both people are way above where they should be beginning a season, and then people down here where they shouldn't be. We have Javonte Williams, Saquon Barkley, Kyren Williams, Breece Hall, Cam Skattebo, Ashton, Jeanty, and Chase Brown. Right off the bat, Javonte Williams being this high is nuts. Now, I will say this is a bit risky. Maybe Jaden Blue comes back and offers something, but right now, I don't know why they wouldn't stop giving this guy the ball. He's breaking tackles. He's in the most explosive offense in the NFL. The one thing that the Dallas Cowboys can do is score points, and they're going to have to score points. That's the other key caveat, just because that defense, it continues to give up a lot of yardage and is not going to be the thing that's going to shut them out. So if they're constantly in shootouts week in and week out, there's a lot of touchdown equity to be had and a lot of volume. Javonte Williams is doing all the stuff that we thought he was when he was a rookie, and we got him for cheap at the Broncos, hoping that he was going to break out, and it never happened. So this is a huge boom if you got him at cost, because he's basically your RB5 in some cases. And if you were a zero RB guy that did happen to pick up something like this, you did get a little bit of a win. Most of us who went that route did not. The rest, Saquon Barkley is a big shocker here. I understand, folks, who he is and the talent. It's just the fact that I don't know what the Eagles can do to even get more out of this offense. It feels like they're squeezing everything that they can just to get A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith targets and keep them happy that Saquon Barkley is a dude where, yeah, he's going to get his touches, but even if there is an increase, we still have to worry about Jalen Hurts taking a lot of that stuff from the tush push or quarterback sneak, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't look good, especially if he was one of your first picks, which he was for a lot of us people. Only way he wasn't is if you got him somehow in a keeper league or some type of dynasty league. All of us that overpaid for Saquon Barkley, hopefully you nailed every other pick, but as far as the running back department goes, and especially if you were counting on him as like your hero RB player, you got to be hurting. Kyren Williams is the steady Eddie here. Breece Hall, they are pretty much doing what you expect them to do. There is that upside. There is the downside. Breece Hall, it comes with the offense. Maybe at this point, if you traded for him, now that they have Tyrod Taylor, we could see a little bit more, especially some touchdown equity, getting him in the red zone because someone can actually complete passes consistently. Cam Scatterboo is another one who's a huge riser. I know this might even be a little bit rich just because Tyrone Tracy is still there, but the Giants keep finding ways to score points, and they feel a lot like the Bills, where Jackson Dart is finding ways to make it happen regardless of what's around him. And Cam Scatterboo's the one thing that is pulling his own weight, along with some of the tight ends and Tyrone Tracy. But with the receivers being out and just having Wan'Dale Robinson, I expect there to be plenty of passes for this backfield, and I feel really good about Cam Scatterboo in the red zone. Ashton Jeanty, that is a busted pick if you got him with your first round, just because the Raiders are so bad that it doesn't matter what you think of Ashton Jeanty as a talent, it just can't get done. Now, I told everyone that he's still a very good player, but he might be just a notch below Bijan Robinson. It kind of shows because you can't really do much with him in the passing game as you can with Bijan Robinson. I'm not saying that he can't be used at all, but people just forget how phenomenal that Gibbs and Bijan are as receivers. They would be NFL wide receivers if they weren't running backs. Let's put it that way. And Ashton Jeanty needs a lot of that rushing to get the most out of it. And behind this poor offensive line and Geno Smith being so turnover prone, it's hard for me to see anything exciting in the future. Yeah, you're going to start him just because of the volume. And I know it sounds like I would just poo-pooed on him. I was just saying he's not Bijan Robinson, but he's still a fantastic running back who can create for himself. So you're going to be putting him in your lineup, but he's giving you more RB2 numbers, low-end RB1, and I don't know if there's going to be a lot of touchdowns unless he's scoring from way out. And then to round it out, Chase Brown. The Bengals seem to have fixed a little bit of the leak now that they've replaced Jake Browning with Joe Flacco. We know that Joe Flacco is at least productive for all of our fantasy assets. He himself may not be that premium of a fantasy asset. He himself isn't exactly a franchise QB that's going to send the Bengals to the playoffs, but he is somebody who can help everyone else score points, and we saw that immediately with Chase Brown, and he looks like someone who can give you, I say, low-end RB1 with some upside if we can get him working in the passing game again, and there seems to be hope for a lot of our Bengals. Now to the C tier, DeAndre Swift, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Jaylen Warren, David Montgomery, and Alvin Kamara. There's good and bad. Alvin Kamara is at the bottom. I don't even know what to do with him at this point. Kendre Miller getting hurt opens up a lot of that opportunity for him again. He's someone that's been mentioned as a trade candidate, albeit he said that he doesn't want to be traded, which is wild to me, considering that if he went to another team that was winning, that could be the one thing that can make him almost a first ballot Hall of Famer if he can get a Super Bowl on that record as well. He's been incredibly productive. He's just been marooned over at the Saints. Something to be said that he's paid and he's in the city that he likes, but it is strange. So with that being said, he still creeps into this tier because, again, I just don't see anyone else in this backfield taking any more opportunity, and especially in PPR leagues, he's still been productive beyond that 1 week. As for the rest of the tier, I think that the Bears have finally figured out their rushing attack. I love what we've seen out of DeAndre Swift. He looks the best that he has in his career. He's getting north and south, working his way upfield. We know what he can do in the passing game. I know that Kyle Monangai is getting touches, but we know that Ben Johnson doesn't mind utilizing a thunder and lightning, Sonic and Knuckles approach to his running backs, and I think that DeAndre Swift is a pretty good poor man's Sonic, especially within this offense, and knowing that the defense probably isn't going to be the reason that they're winning games, and we're going to have to worry about that offense outscoring whatever that other team is doing on the other side of the field. So I like DeAndre Swift. He was a big win at cost. And just a freebie, I like Kyle Monangai, who doesn't make this list. It's just because we only did 30. I do like him as someone that you need to get off the waiver wire as well. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, I like the talent. I just don't know what his overall upside is, and every time you start him, you need to be prepared to have single digits, and you need to hope that he scores a touchdown or breaks long yardage to get over double digit PPR points, because he's not giving you a whole lot to do in the passing game. And on top of that, if Jaden Daniels continues to miss time, I just don't know how explosive this entire offense is. And even with Jaden Daniels in, he doesn't have the weapons that he's used to with Deebo Samuel hurt, in addition to whenever Terry McLaurin's going to decide to play football again. So I'm not sure what the overall upside, even as the RB1, would be in this offense. Jaylen Warren, another good player that I like. This is a very fun RB2 range. This is a very buyable RB2 range, depending what format you're in, so you can actually make trades, or if you're in Dynasty, these are all guys that you can actually acquire and not break the bank, and then give you some production that will actually help you win. So really enjoy shopping around this tier. Now for the D tier: J.K. Dobbins, Rachaad White, Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard, Travis Etienne, Jordan Mason. A lot of these guys are in committees at this point. It's just where they're at the pecking order in the committee, and if their offense can support multiple backs. Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle are grouped together because, again, they seem to be splitting touches. I wouldn't be surprised if Chuba Hubbard starts to lose more if Rico Dowdle continues to look as good as he does. Travis Etienne, he's not really in a committee. Bashal Tootin gets some of these touches, but he's the guy. Just that the Jaguars suck. So yeah, there's upside by just being solo, but if Trevor Lawrence continues to struggle, I think that the rest of the offense is going to struggle as well. Jordan Mason, I like him, and normally I think I would have him up a tier higher, but Aaron Jones is coming back, and the offense isn't quite as exciting as we thought it was going to be. We'll finish it off with the F tier: Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, Ramondre Stevenson, Woody Marks, Nick Chubb. More committees, but like I said, unlike the other one, it's, are they in a good offense that supports multiple backs, or are they in the good part of this committee? Well, a lot of them, I got the whole committee in here. Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, or as I like to say, the Disgusting Brothers, are down here. They're just, Zach Charbonnet is someone that I think you want, and I have him ranked ahead of Kenneth Walker just because of the touchdown equity. But as far as yards per carry, broken tackle rate, all these advanced metrics that show a good running back, behind this offensive line, none of them are good. So it's someone that you can't drop, but let's just put it this way: they're a flex that you're probably playing the floor on. Woody Marks, I like more and more. It's just that this offensive line is bad, and thus the offense is bad. And we know what Nick Chubb is and the age restrictions. But that'll round out that list, folks. I'll have more of these coming up in the future, especially as we go later on, so you know exactly who you need to prioritize. If you're in some of these weird leagues like Guillotine or whatever that still have trades running, you'll know exactly who you need to target. As always, I'm Jagger May. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next one.